Hi, this is Imogen and Ryan from Imoves, and we're here to help you get your history lessons more active at primary school.
Yeah.
And why are we doing that, Ryan?
Well, you know, history is typically a subject that is taught out of textbooks, and sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to motivate children over things that happened so many years ago in the past that it's impossible for them to fathom, you know, the difference and the importance of these things. So in order for the children to maybe gain more out of their history lessons and enjoy them more, it seems we always come back to it's just there's a greater level of enjoyment when we bring active learning into the world of school, but also a greater retention of information as well.
The recall is much better.
So by being able to tie in physical activity and movements within history, we can enhance that recall as well.
Absolutely. And we're not forgetting about the fun element, because we absolutely want to make history fun, because then it's the enjoyment of learning and understanding traditions and cultures and things that we know where we've come from is so important for a child, isn't it, to understand their belonging and all that kind of thing. So we want to make our history lessons something that they really look forward to. And I do a lot of history through dance. And
that's your expertise. That's your area of expertise.
That's my area of expertise. So anything dance related, I'm all over that. So the iMoves dance program, it covers everything from Greeks, you know, Trojans, Egyptians, you name it, Stonehenge, everything that you would need to teach in your history, we would cover it through dance. And you put music on, you tell a story, the kids get into it, they're working in groups, they're working in teams, they're coming up with their own stuff. You know, you're modelling some bits and pieces to give them the ideas, but then the rest of it comes from them, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so you're doing a whole subject on the World Wars, for instance, you know, World War I and World War II, you could cover it in 6 weeks, and the whole thing is just brought to life by understanding, you know, how the soldiers felt going to war, and you know, what does that feel like, and you know, then the football kind of idea that is, I think it was World War I when they were playing.
Oh, is that
football.
what they stopped, didn't they?
Stopped, and you know that's you know that little dance, and then we do something around, you know, poppies and things like that. So there's so much you can do, and it's just bringing that to life. And I just feel like dance is one of the ways that you can bring history to life. It is so much more than you can any other subject. Yeah.
However, if you feel like that you have 2 left feet rather than a left and a right foot, and maybe dance is something where you go, you know, I'm willing to give it a go, but it might not be something that comes as comfortable to me.
Yeah.
You can still incorporate elements of dance into your lessons without having to do a whole topic wrapped around it. So you can bring in elements of dance and drama without costumes into this as well, and that's,
and it doesn't have to be PE based either. It can be in the classroom.
You can still do it in the classroom, and this is just dramatizing the action or the elements of the history that you're focusing upon, and getting the kids to actively participate in that. And it doesn't need dress up, and it doesn't need anything else, because they can still get the understanding and the enjoyment out of it. Works better when you're doing it as standalone, because obviously if you're wanting to turn something into a dance, then it takes time to structure something, and there's enjoyment in the process of that. But if you're needing to cover something more quickly or more concisely, then you can do things such as one of the things that we did, this was something that I magpied from someone else. I can't claim this as being my own idea. I'd seen this from someone else, but I've copied it since, was looking at how the Romans marched together, particularly when they are heading out to battle and they've got their shields and they're creating the shell, when they that impenetrable shell when it comes forward. So we get the kids with their little whiteboards and we are in the room, and we together, and you say key core words that are the commands for them to go from being spread out to being together.
Like smaller groups,
to having the ones at the front with their rulers who come forwards, because they're the ones with the spears that are there, or the swords at the front. And the different shifts from them being up at the front to being down at the sides and across. And you know what, in every time when I've done those, I've never had a single child put a foot out of place.
Right. So they've been really compact.
Yeah, and I don't mean just in terms of position. I mean behaviour.
Oh right. Okay.
I mean their level of engagement has been so switched on because they feel like they're playing battles.
Yeah.
And particularly boys. You know, girls are usually the animal world. They are the enthusiastic dogs in the room, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because they'll just go with whatever. You go, guys, we're making blancmange today, and they'll be like, right, fine, whatever, cool. All right, guys, we're acting out how the Romans did it, right? Okay, cool. Whereas the boys are a bit more
tricky little cats.
Yeah,
aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
But in this instance, they just think that they're playing sort of history war battles.
Brilliant.
And actually, they're building movement and coordination and listening skills and reaction and memory.
Yeah.
All whilst figuring out how the Romans did it.
Yeah. And why they did it.
Oh, it's a free win.
Yeah.
And it's an easy thing to teach in the end because they're so actively engaged in wanting to progress through it.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I like that.
Yeah, it's honestly, it works so well. It's a good fun lesson. And you hear the class, the next class that's come up, they've heard from the year before about doing it. And they're like, oh, we're on to Romans or we're on to whatever. That means we get to do the march, you know, and it's brilliant. They really do have a good time. It's nice when the kids talk positively about stuff like that rather than, oh, Smith lessons again.
Another one we quite like is the history timeline where you'd have obviously your main eras, if you like, and the kids in groups would create a freeze frame on what they believe would demonstrate that era the best. And so you've got your timeline, and again you need quite a big space for this, but then the kids have to figure it out. You give them an era and go, right, crack on. There we go. They put together a little freeze frame and then maybe talk about it, discuss it, and kind of work through your timeline. And that's a really nice way to demonstrate something that, again, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on in the last 2,000 years, 3,000 years, 4,000 years, whatever, however far you're going back. But there's a lot of stuff, and that is a lot to remember.
You get the kids to, with it's a freeze frame, so you're getting them to freeze in a position of something that in their best way demonstrates what happened in that era. And when they're frozen, so when you say that key word and you say, right, get ready, I'm going to count you down from 3 to 2 to 1, and I'm going to shout freeze. And then all of you need to be in this position. I need to be able to figure out what the era is or what the story is that you are trying to tell from this pause that you have created. So it's great if you actually put the things, all the different eras or the terms that you're looking at into envelopes, and then you don't know what's in it.
Oh, nice.
And then the kids take one at random, and then they have to then do it, and then it's up to me to see if they've done it well enough to figure out what it is.
So tell me, in your kind of pack of goodies, is it just kind of
there'll be bullet points of
what it is and bits of information to help them understand it.
And obviously they would be always allowed to have their workbooks with them, so they could look back on the previous learning, so they could take things from their books as well to pick out stuff. And the last bit to tie into that is when they're frozen, is that you have the power as the teacher to make each of them speak. So when they're in this freeze frame, you can go up and you can touch one of the children that's frozen, and when you touch them on the shoulder, they are allowed to say something that connects with that era. So whatever character they are playing, they can then use language to express what that character might be feeling in that particular moment in time as well. So you can literally see from each child their level of understanding and take on board a character that fits within the era that they're modelling.
I want to be part of that.
It's good fun.
I know.
It's good fun. It's bad on the knees when you get to our age.
Use some knee pads on.
Yeah, because most freeze frames tend to somewhere be down on your knees somewhere like that. Alas, poor Yorick, he hurt my knees. But apart from that, it's a really good lesson.
Okay, so we've just been talking about debates and how that can be made as using choose between.
Yeah. So you can bring drama again into this. Let's think about any kind of historical parliamentary debate that's happened throughout history. Usually something with Churchill goes down quite well. And you have your main speakers, your main argument makers in the centre. And then you've got your members of parliament, or it could be your jury, or it could be a live historical trial, a reenactment of an old trial. And any time someone makes a point that particular audience member or MP agrees with, they move to a certain area in the room. But then if they hear something that they disagree with, they move across to another. So it's almost like you are visually seeing how much agreements or disagreements you have within your jury or within your members of parliament or whichever, by the flow of people across the room.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So listening skills, because obviously they can't talk through this. This is you have to still be able to hear the debate that's taking place.
Yeah.
But it's a way to show that person has made a good point or not made a good point by how they decide to move and flow across the room.
Okay.
Instead of just being sat still.
I really like that. So that's us done for today, really, on the history side. So next time we're going to be having a look at mental health and well-being. So, see you then.